Chief guest, Honorable Pravind Kumar Jugnauth, Prime Minister of the Republic of Mauritius. Guest of honor, Her Excellency Mrs. Nandini Singla, High Commissioner of India to Mauritius. Special guest of honor, Honorable Renganaden Padayachi, Minister of Finance. Special guest of honor, Honorable Mahen Siratan, Minister of Financial Services and Good Governance. Director of Afrinex, Baroness Sandeep Verma. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar and good morning. Welcome to today's inauguration of Afrinex as a Pan-African securities exchange providing a platform for global investors. The Afrinex initiative dates back to 2016, when the Government of India, through the Bombay Stock Exchange, lent its support to the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister of Mauritius to strengthen the position of Mauritius as an international financial center.
It is a great privilege and honor for me to welcome you all here on this momentous moment today, the inauguration of Afrinex. As has been said, it was in 2016 that Mr. Raj Kumar Rapantab, the then PPS to the Honourable Prime Minister, reached out to India with a vision for the Honourable Prime Minister to set up the state-of-art international exchange in Mauritius. The Secretary Department of Economic Affairs was incredibly supportive to enable this vision and invited the Bombay Stock Exchange to provide technology and the skills required. The next step was the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between Afrinex and the Bombay Stock Exchange on the 12th of March 2018. It is therefore a matter of special pride for us all today that Honourable Prime Minister is here inaugurating this exchange. In reaching this watershed, we have benefited enormously from the support made available to us from across a great many people and institutions. Strong support from policymakers spearheaded by the Ministry of Financial Services and Good Governance and the Financial Services Commission under the leadership of the Honourable Prime Minister. Unwavering support and encouragement from our shareholders, our members, the banks, the Bombay Stock Exchange Technologies, and these are just to name a few. And I would also at this instance like to also thank all of those who've been in the background supporting this project in its inception to its fruition today, and that is people, great people like Dr. Sunil Chadda, who has brought many of us on board to be here today. This milestone is by far a humble beginning of Afrinex's journey, which we hope and believe will contribute significantly through the innovation of products and services as an international financial centre in Mauritius. Innovation in listing, fundraising, products and services, which will make Afrinex a dependable and reliable market infrastructure institution from Mauritius, catering to Pan-Africa and beyond. We believe strongly that Mauritius's recent achievement in becoming an FATF-compliant jurisdiction once again makes it an incredibly attractive destination and enables Afrinex to offer services comparable with global exchanges. We will, of course, have to evolve, and we will strive continually to innovate, offer world-class infrastructure and services to incentivise market participants to partner with us, to adopt best practices not from just other global exchanges, but also their financial ecosystems and policies. But we're ready. We have many things in place, and in doing this, we will depend on the continued support of the regulators and the policymakers on a continual basis. Of crucial importance will be the blessings, Your Excellency, the Honourable Prime Minister, of you, the success of this venture and the significant contribution that it will make to the Mauritius economy. On behalf of all of us at Afrinex, its board, the executive, the management, I want to assure you, Honourable Prime Minister, at this august gathering today, all participating members, regulatory and supervisory entities, we will ensure that the highest levels of transparency, governance, compliance, and the adoption of global best practices are there as we motor ahead. I would like to thank all of you, in particular, though, of all of those who have believed in this, Afrinex coming and being a part of the Mauritius infrastructure. But our greatest thanks, Prime Minister, goes to you, because without your support, today would not have been possible. And I would also like to thank wholeheartedly our High Commissioner of India to Mauritius for her support on being here on this occasion today. Thank you all very much indeed.
As the Indian High Commissioner, I've been here in this beautiful country for over 10 months now and have had the privilege of attending several important events. But this is the first time that I feel like I'm participating in a historic moment. To me, it is a red letter day, because it is not every day that one gets to be a part of launching a path-breaking new institution with the potential to transform a country, a continent, and the world. It is not every day. It is not every day that one sees a vision translated into a reality. Today's inauguration of Afrinex is one such defining moment for me, because it was the Honourable Prime Minister, Shri Pravind Kumar Jugnauth, whose personal vision it was to have a Pan-African exchange in Mauritius, an exchange that adds value to Mauritius's global profile as an international financial center of high repute, while also adding economic heft to the continent of Africa. I would therefore like to congratulate His Excellency the Prime Minister, Mr. Pravind Jugnauth, for his far-sighted and visionary leadership and personal drive, without which Afrinex would not have been a reality today. I think a round of applause is in order. As the Indian High Commissioner, I'm very happy that this vision sprang from the Prime Minister's visit to the Bombay Stock Exchange in 2019. And we are deeply honored that Afrinex is being set up with Mauritius-India cooperation under a private-public partnership model. Given the special ties between Mauritius and India, it is no surprise that India understood the compelling economic case that Afrinex presented, and that in 2016, our finance minister, the late Shri Arun Jaitley ji, had mooted the idea of setting up an international exchange in Mauritius that could potentially serve as a gateway to Africa. In a reflection of the importance that India attaches to Mauritius, the Government of India invited the Bombay Stock Exchange to support the setting up of Afrinex by providing the necessary skill, technology, and infrastructure, especially the exchange, clearing, and settlement technology platform. I am therefore deeply honored to be a part of this important chapter in the India-Mauritius relationship and to be a part of this moment in our exciting economic journey forward. The Bombay Stock Exchange has played an important role in making this day possible, and so I would like to take this opportunity to thank BSE for its steadfast support Thank BSE for its steadfast support, not only in terms of technology, skills, and manpower, but also for their investments into Afrinex. I look forward to Afrinex joining the long list of successful India-Mauritius bilateral projects, paving the way towards our shared vision for Mauritius, for India, and for Africa, and to adding further depth and substance to the rich relationship that Mauritius and India enjoy. I would also like to warmly congratulate the directors of Afrinex and Ms. Gangopadhyay and her team, who have worked with dedication, with determination, and with a commendable commitment to set up Afrinex despite several challenges and a COVID economy. I think a round of applause to the team that has made this day happen. As a Pan-African exchange, I believe that Afrinex can be a game changer, not only for Mauritius, not only for Africa, but for the world. With the world admiringly acknowledging the key contribution of the financial services sector to the Mauritian miracle, in which Mauritius transformed itself from a single-crop, poor country into a high-income economy in just about 50 years. Mauritius has shown that it has the financial know-how and experience and is ideally suited to be the financial and capital market hub of Africa. The fact that today Mauritius is categorized as the leading democracy in Africa with the highest transparency and human development index, and as the easiest place to do business on the continent, makes it ideally suited to position itself as an international financial services center and capital market destination for Africa and beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, wise people say that in life, timing is everything. There could not have been a better time to launch Afrinex. 4 days ago, Mauritius exited the FATF grey list in record time. Mauritius went down in history as the first country in the world to get off the FATF list so quickly, despite the daunting challenges of COVID. We all know that this was only possible because of the strong and focused leadership of the Prime Minister, Shri Pravind Jugnauth, and the determined and dedicated efforts of his team. As a friend and well-wisher of Mauritius, all of India joins me in congratulating you, Your Excellency, on this extraordinary achievement. Given that Mauritius is the second largest source of foreign direct investment into my country, all Indians are also very excited with the delisting of Mauritius. They're looking forward to a surge in FDI inflows into India through Mauritius. From a larger bilateral perspective too, I think Afrinex is coming up at an opportune time. Many of you know that only 6 months ago, India's first ever free trade agreement with the continent of Africa, called SECPA, entered into force in Mauritius. It underscored yet again the importance of Mauritius to India and India's continued commitment to Africa's growth, to Africa's rise. When our External Affairs Minister interacted with Mauritian businesses in February, when the SECPA was signed, many of you were present there, he talked about how SECPA could contribute to not only enhancing India-Mauritius trade and investment, but how it could contribute to making Mauritius as a hub to Africa. With SECPA happening, and with Mauritius being party to several other free trade agreements within the African continent, including the recent African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, I think through Afrinex, Mauritius could become a fundraising destination that helps integrate the continent economically. It could also generate greater employment opportunities across the international financial market value chain. Afrinex can be a game changer, not just for Mauritius or India or Africa, as I said, for the entire world. For a beleaguered world that desperately needs a revitalized post-COVID global economy, I think this is the kind of good news that the world desperately needs. I think Afrinex also comes at a point in the global post-COVID economy where there's a transformation in the priorities of governments, of businesses, of people, and also the way we work. As with music, films, or news today, increasingly an international financial center of tomorrow will no longer be about physical infrastructure. It'll be more about offering transaction platforms that seamlessly capture global financial transactions in investment and trade. It is inevitable, therefore, that Mauritius too will need to adopt a futuristic model of international financial services that facilitates the global flow of transactions and is driven more by government policies, incentives, and ease of doing business rather than physical infrastructure facilities. In this, what is helpful is that although the focus of Afrinex is primarily on Africa, it is based in Mauritius, and so the exchange is also uniquely positioned at a time zone that allows it to cater to European, US, as well as African and Asian markets. With the proposed extended trading hours of the exchange, there would also be ease of price discovery, I'm told. As you saw in the video just a few minutes ago, in May this year, I had the honor of joining Madam Kavita Jugnauth in launching the commencement of mock trading at Afrinex. On that day, I was delighted to hear that the government of Mauritius has already taken policy initiatives to make the securities laws in Mauritius comparable with those of leading international financial centers. Laws such as the Securities Act securities disclosure rules, and several other capital market rules. These initiatives towards a progressive and adaptive financial market ecosystem in Mauritius, I believe, are truly commendable. Similarly, as a market infrastructure institution, it is wonderful news that Afrinex's robust and transparent rules spell out its commitment to enable innovative partnerships between investors and enterprises that challenge conventional business and operating models. I do believe that this is the need of the hour in a fast-changing 21st century world. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, just a few words about the gift city in India, which you may have all heard about. In fact, in the video that we just saw, there was mention about exploring the concept of an international exchange at Gift City in India, way back in 2017. A lot has happened over the past 4 years in Gift City as well. I wish to inform that the total cumulative trading turnover has exceeded $7 trillion in the past 4 years. The floodgates have opened in primary market fundraising and listing through Gift City, with more than $55 billion of medium-term note programs established at international exchanges there. New business lines and transactions such as aircraft leasing have also been enabled now. I believe that Afrinex is uniquely positioned to define the contours of a Mauritius IFC Gift City corridor that further augments the international financial center services offered in Mauritius. I think that this opens the door to the possibility of deeper financial and economic engagement between Mauritius and India. Ladies and gentlemen, with Africa, the world's youngest continent, containing extraordinary resources, being seen today as the growth continent of the future, with Mauritius reinventing itself as a springboard to Africa, the entry into force of SECPA and other free trade agreements signed by Mauritius, the gradual return to a pre-COVID economy, Mauritius's record-breaking exit from the FATF's grey list, and the launch of Afrinex today. All of these seem like a well-timed divine synchronicity that was meant to happen. Afrinex couldn't have come at a more opportune time. Therefore, in this festive season of Diwali, when Indians worship Mahalakshmi, the goddess of wealth and prosperity, I pray for the success of Afrinex and extend my best wishes to the Managing Director, Ms. Gangopadhyay, and her team, the investors who have betted on Afrinex with their wallets, to the Bombay Stock Exchange, as well as the government and the people of Mauritius. Before closing, I would like to extend a special thanks once again to His Excellency, the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Pravind Jugnauth, for his visionary initiative and for making the Bombay Stock Exchange and India a partner in this exciting new journey. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Namaste.
ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर श्री प्रवीण कुमार जगन्नाथ जी, मॉरिशस सरकार के विभिन्न विभागों के मंत्री एवं अधिकारीगण, मॉरिशस में भारत की हाई कमिश्नर महोदया, बीएससी टेक्नोलॉजी और अफ्रीनेक्स के अधिकारीगण और अन्य उपस्थित भाइयों और बहनों, भारत से आपको सादर नमस्कार। आज हम सभी यहाँ एक विशेष प्रायोजन स्टेट ऑफ द आर्ट पेन अफ्रीकन एक्सचेंज एफ्रीनेक्स के उद्घाटन के अवसर पर उपस्थित हैं। ये बड़ा खास अवसर इसलिए भी है क्योंकि ये भारत और मॉरिशस की सही मायने में भागीदारी को प्रदर्शित करता है। भारत और मॉरिशस के संबंध ऐतिहासिक रूप से विशिष्ट रहे हैं। हमारी विरासत, सांस्कृतिक मूल्य और आर्थिक संबंध सभी साझे रहे हैं। विगत अनेक वर्षों के दौरान हमने इन साझे मूल्यों का विकास किया है और प्रगतिशील आर्थिक साझेदारी को विकसित किया है। हाल ही में CEPA समझौता भारत मॉरिशस व्यापारिक और निवेश संबंधों की आधारशिला की तरह है। मुझे हार्दिक प्रसन्नता है कि बॉम्बे स्टॉक एक्सचेंज ने इस पहल में बड़ी तत्परता के साथ आवश्यक टेक्नोलॉजी, स्किल और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर उपलब्ध कराया है। मित्रों, किसी भी अर्थव्यवस्था का आधार निवेश और इंटरप्राइजेज के विकास और उनमें बढ़ोतरी करने वाली सरकारी नीतियों पर निर्भर करता है। वहीं एक स्टॉक एक्सचेंज पॉलिसी मेकर्स और उद्योगियों के बीच फीडबैक सिस्टम को निश्चित रूप देता है। मैं विशेष तौर पर मॉरिशस के प्रधानमंत्री श्री प्रवीण कुमार जगन्नाथ जी की प्रशंसा करना चाहूँगा, जिनके विजन के कारण ही पैन अफ्रीकन एक्सचेंज एफ्रीनेक्स मॉरिशस में स्थापित हो पाया। मुझे आशा ही नहीं वरन पूर्ण विश्वास है कि इस एक्सचेंज की स्थापना से मॉरिशस की एक प्रतिष्ठित अंतर्राष्ट्रीय वित्तीय केंद्र के रूप में स्थिति और मजबूत होगी। इस ऐतिहासिक क्षण में मैं मॉरिशस सरकार, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फाइनेंस मॉरिशस, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फाइनेंस सर्विसेज मॉरिशस, फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज कमीशन, BSc टेक्नोलॉजी भारत और एफ्रीनेक्स को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं और इस पहल की सफलता के लिए असीम शुभकामनाएं देता हूं।
It is with a deep sense of satisfaction and pride that I join you this morning for the launch of Afrinex, only a few days after Mauritius was removed from the grey list of the Financial Action Task Force well before schedule. Getting out of the FATF grey list was a major challenge for our jurisdiction. But we have proved that if we join our forces, no challenge is unsurmountable. Although we always claimed that our jurisdiction was clean and a reputable one, we set out to satisfy the FATF with the seriousness and commitment it required. Relevant ministries, regulators, and other concerned stakeholders worked resolutely with a positive mindset under my leadership to achieve compliance with the recommendations that were put forward by the FATF. We left no stone unturned, considered every single detail, and the result is there for everybody to see. The decision of the FATF comforts us in our conviction that we should be constantly doing everything possible to consolidate and preserve the repute and seriousness of our financial jurisdiction. It sends a strong signal to investors and boosts the element of trust that has made of Mauritius a financial center of excellence. On the back of this outstanding achievement, I am now confident that Mauritius will soon leave the blacklist of the European Union. It is therefore in a very conducive climate of feel-good factor that we are launching a new securities exchange in Mauritius. The setting up of a Pan-African securities exchange in our country espouses my vision to consolidate the attractiveness of our jurisdiction as a leading international financial center of substance. The idea was first discussed with the Department of Economic Policy Affairs, Government of India, in February 2018. And soon after, with the blessings of the Government of India, particularly the Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, the Bombay Stock Exchange was invited as private partner to support this Mauritius India initiative. The project rapidly gathered momentum, and on 12th of March 2018, Afrinex signed a memorandum of understanding with the Bombay Stock Exchange for technical and skill assistance. 1 year after, during my visit to India in January 2019, I attended a function at the Bombay Stock Exchange where I unveiled the brochure of Afrinex. Mock trading commenced on 31st of May 2021 in the presence of my spouse, and today it pleases me to participate in this launching ceremony. I wish to heartily thank the Government of India for making this new venture a reality and adding to the Mauritius-India cooperation yet another significant landmark. I extend my warmest congratulations to Afrinex as a new stakeholder in the financial community of Mauritius. We are having another securities exchange after almost 30 years. This testifies that our capital market is expanding and deepening while assuming a larger role in the development and integration of the regional capital market. Afrinex will certainly contribute to further establish Mauritius among the newly developed emerging capital markets of the region. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that this event is particularly timely, not only for the capital market sector in Mauritius, but for the whole economy and jurisdiction. I strongly believe that our mindset has to change if we are to realize our full economic potential. We need to increase our national level of savings, mobilize capital, and channel those financial resources into productive investments that create jobs and incomes and earn foreign exchange. A new securities exchange is a vital intermediary in this process. I'm confident that as the Pan-African focused international securities exchange, Afrinex will contribute to provide more market depth and liquidity to African exchanges. It is also very encouraging to see that in spite of our economy being rocked by the COVID-19 pandemic, entrepreneurs keep striving. This is an absolute show of confidence in our economy and our country that inspires government to forge ahead and pursue with even greater resolve in developmental agendas. The financial services sector has a central role to play in our development pursuit. It has the highest productivity amongst all sectors, and it is only logical that we invest more of our resources in that sector away from low productivity activities. In fact, a prominent feature of our development is to promote the shifting of resources, in particular, our country's human resources from low to high productivity economic activities in order to optimize their participation and improve their earning capacity. Government will therefore continue its policy to further expand, diversify, and consolidate the financial services sector. This year, to further leverage Mauritius as an attractive jurisdiction for raising capital and for listing on our stock exchanges, we have brought about significant improvements in the relevant laws. Amendments were also made to ensure that our legal and regulatory framework embeds latest and best international practices and to streamline regulatory compliance. As I said earlier, we will stop at nothing to maintain and uphold the reputation of our jurisdiction as one that follows international best practices and where the laws and the operators are fully compliant with the international exigencies. As regards capital market development, we will ensure that international best practices, as set out by the International Organizations of Securities Commissions, objectives and principles, are strictly followed. These include developing, implementing, and promoting adherence to internationally recognized and consistent standards of regulation, oversight, and enforcement in order to protect investors, maintaining fair, efficient, and transparent markets, and seeking to address systemic risks. Ladies and gentlemen, I have no doubt that Afrinex will also represent a major plus in our broader Africa partnership strategy, where Mauritius has a role to promote the development of financial services that will benefit not only Mauritius, but other African countries as well. Let me conclude by making an appeal to all operators in the financial industry, banks and non-bank financial companies, local and foreign, to do their utmost to innovate and actively participate in the process we have set as a nation to emerge stronger together, to confidently embrace the future. I again congratulate Afrinex and wish it all the best for its much appreciated Pan-African focus. And I thank you for your kind attention.
And now the moment we've been waiting for has finally arrived. We are delighted to invite the Honorable Prime Minister, Her Excellency the High Commissioner, and all dignitaries present on stage to proceed to the screen for the inauguration of Afrinex by ringing the electronic gong. Well, why the gong? The gong's reverberation symbolizes the birth and welcoming of Afrinex. So it's our countdown to the gong. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The next part of our ceremony takes us to India, from where we will be joined virtually by Mrs. Harsha Bangari, Managing Director of Exim Bank of India, the quasi-sovereign issuer from India, extending credit lines to Africa and beyond. Namaskar and welcome, Mrs. Bangari. It's a pleasure to have you with us this morning. We will proceed with the listing of Exim Bank of India bonds. May I kindly invite to the screen the Honorable Prime Minister and Her Excellency the High Commissioner of India to Mauritius for the listing, please. I now invite the Honorable Prime Minister and Her Excellency the High Commissioner of India to Mauritius and Mrs. Bangari to press the remote for the listing. Congratulations to Exim Bank of India on being the first issuer to list on Securities Official List of Afrinex.
It gives me immense pleasure to be virtually present at the launching ceremony of Afrinex. It is also a very proud moment for us at India Exim Bank to list our $1 billion bond, 2031 bond on Afrinex today. And I'm sure this will be the first of many to come. Set up in 1982, India Exim Bank is the country's export credit agency and fully owned by the government of India. We aim to promote India's international trade and investment. The bank aggressively supports Indian exporting companies, especially medium-sized enterprises, in their globalization efforts through a variety of lending programs. The bank, whose balance sheet is substantially dollarized, is one of the largest Indian issuers of long-term debt in the international debt capital markets, and its paper is treated as quasi-sovereign. The bank has a $1 billion global MTN program and has issued this 10-year bond in January 2021. This was our fourth issuance in the 144A Reg S segment, and the transaction at a coupon of 2.25% per annum marked a record low for any Indian issuer for a 10-year USD issuance. This issue was subscribed 3.5 times and was oversubscribed by highly quality investors. This was a remarkable achievement considering the significant weak market backdrop owing to COVID-19 pandemic. And this also demonstrates the strong confidence of the investors in the India story and India Exim Bank. Today is a momentous occasion for us. With this listing, Afrinex has served as a gateway for broadening our investor base while providing greater liquidity to the bond. This will also augment India Exim Bank's reach in the African continent along with that of the world. I'm sure this will take the India-Africa engagement to a new height. I would once again like to congratulate and thank Afrinex for giving us this opportunity. We also look forward to listing our future issuances at Afrinex while continuing to be an integral part of the growth and development of the exchange. Wishing all the very best to Afrinex.
Thank you, Mrs. Banga.
Today, we have just been witness to a historical event, inauguration of Mauritius's Pan-African Exchange Afrinex by Honorable Prime Minister. I'm sure this will become an important financial institution in Mauritius and Africa at large. I fondly recall, as we all mentioned, when Mr. Rajram Pratap visited India, and then followed by the visit of Prime Minister in January 2019, when you unveiled the brochure, sir. I'm delighted today that this exchange has been inaugurated by you in your hands. I would like to profusely thank all the authorities, Government of Mauritius, Mr. Balla, Cabinet Secretary, Government of Mauritius, other officials, Chairman FSC, CE FSC, Governor Bank of Mauritius, Chairman EDB, CEO EDB, and of course, our CEO and MD from BSE, Mr. Chauhan, without whose support we could not have been today here inaugurating this exchange. I want to especially thank Mr. Manraj, Finance Secretary, for his support in designing our strategy, as also making it a success, and the enormous amount of discussion we had in our initial days. I would also like to thank Mr. Pariachi for all his support in our initial days, as also now, and Mr. Sirathan, without whose support Mauritius would not be an attractive jurisdiction like it is today, with all the policy and other changes that we incorporated. Both of them have brought a quiet and purposeful energy to this project, which has been endured by all of us. I would also like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the tremendous effort put in by everyone across the spectrum, because of which we have been able to set up Afrinex. I would like to thank my colleagues, past and current board of directors, their wholehearted support to this important initiative, our investors, and of course, our partners who are our brokers, our members, as well as our first company which listed with us. I would like to thank Afrinex and BSE officials for their untiring efforts in creating this exchange amidst all challenges that we went through in COVID-19. Sir, I promise that Afrinex will always support this nationally important project and wish that it translates your vision of growth and empowerment in times to come. I would also like to thank all the media personnel, government officials, and dignitaries from other countries for gracing this occasion. Many thanks to all of you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the end of our formalities. We wish to thank the Honorable Prime Minister, Her Excellency the High Commissioner of India to Mauritius, all our dignitaries present today, and all our esteemed guests for your valued presence at this launch ceremony. We're now pleased to invite you to join us for refreshments. Thank you once again, and namaskar.